Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're actually building a blueprint for learning. We're going to break down how to organize any subject and turn that mountain of information into a clear path for understanding.
I mean, this is the big question, right? It's the core challenge for anyone trying to teach anything. And the answer isn't just about what you teach, but how you structure it. It all, and I mean all, comes down to thoughtful design.
So here's our roadmap. We're going to start with the raw materials, the knowledge itself. Then we'll figure out how to put it in the right order, design the main blueprint, craft the daily work order, and finally, run a quality check to make sure the whole thing works.
Okay, first things first. Before we can build anything, we have to understand the materials we're working with. And in the world of learning, our materials are basically three things: facts, concepts, and generalizations.
Let's start with facts. Think of these as the individual bricks of knowledge. They're specific, they're concrete, and they don't really transfer. Something like, the Japanese government is a constitutional monarchy. That's a fact. It's true in its context, but it doesn't tell you anything about monarchies in general.
Now, if facts are the bricks, then concepts are the categories we sort them into. Kind of like mental folders. They're abstract, they're timeless, they're universal. Words like system, order, value, or habitat. You can talk about a habitat in the Amazon or a habitat in an aquarium. The concept itself travels.
And this is where the real magic happens. Generalizations are the powerful, big ideas we get when we connect different concepts. They're the rules that apply across tons of different situations. So if you link the concepts of supply and cost, you get a generalization like, as supply decreases, costs increase. Now that's a rule you can use almost anywhere.
And here's where it all just clicks into place. You see how a specific fact about the Amazon helps us understand the bigger concept of an ecosystem, and from there, we can form this incredibly powerful generalization that applies to all life on Earth. Organisms adapt to survive. This is the ladder of understanding we want to help people climb.
So once we've sorted all our materials, we can't just throw them at somebody. We have to assemble them in the right order. This step is absolutely critical, and it's called sequencing.
This quote from cognitive psychologist David Ausubel is, and I'm not exaggerating here, the golden rule of teaching. It's so simple, but so profound. You have to start where people are. We don't learn in a vacuum. We're always building on what's already there.
So Ausubel's idea is basically this. You start with the big picture. You give the learner a large container in their mind first. Then when you start pouring in the specific details, the facts, they actually have a place to go. You're building from the known to the unknown, and from the general to the specific. It's just how our brains are wired to learn.
And this shows us exactly how to put those principles into practice. You can arrange your content by what's most familiar to people, or maybe go from easy to hard. You could even start with whatever is most interesting to get them hooked. Or, of course, you make sure you teach the basics before you get to the more advanced stuff. It's all about building a smooth on-ramp to new ideas.
Okay, so we've sorted our materials. We know the right order to put them in. Now it's time to draw up the master plan, the architectural blueprint for our course. The unit.
A unit is so much more than just a list of lessons. It's a cohesive, thematic journey. Think of a history unit on the American Revolution, or a science unit called Our Solar System. Everything inside that unit has to connect back to that one central theme.
For a unit to really work, all the pieces have to fit together perfectly, like gears in a clock. Every single lesson should connect back to the main theme. A really great unit might pull in current events, use different kinds of activities, and just feel relevant to the learner's world, creating this one seamless experience.
Now, this process from Erickson and Lanning gives us a super clear roadmap. Think of it like planning a road trip. First, you pick your destination. That's your title. Then you choose your route. That's the conceptual lens. You identify the major cities you'll stop in. Those are the strands. And then you map out all the smaller roads that connect everything. The whole point is to guide learners so they discover those big, transferable generalizations on their own. All right, with our unit blueprint done, we can zoom in on the daily construction. It's time to craft the individual lesson plan.
One of the biggest choices you'll make right here is whether to go with a deductive or an inductive approach. A deductive lesson is rule first. You state the principle, and then you show a bunch of examples. An inductive lesson is example first. You give students a lot of data and then guide them to discover the rule for themselves. Inductive is fantastic for building critical thinking, while deductive is usually a bit faster for teaching foundational rules.
Now here's a really powerful tool you can use in any lesson, no matter which approach you take. It's called an advanced organizer.
Basically, it's some introductory material that acts like a conceptual bridge, connecting what someone already knows to the new stuff they're about to learn.
The whole key here is to prepare the learner's mind. If the material is totally new to them, you use what's called an expository organizer to just lay out the basics. But if they have some background knowledge, you use a comparative one to draw connections. You're basically setting the stage so the new knowledge has a place to land.
All right, we're almost there. No construction project is complete with that final inspection. In learning design, this is the evaluation phase, and let me tell you, it is not just about a final test. This is so important. Evaluation isn't something you just tack on at the very end. It should be a continuous feedback loop. What you learn from your evaluation feeds right back into the design, helping you tweak everything from the initial plan to the final lessons. It's a living, breathing process.
And this quote just nails it. At the end of the day, good instructional design isn't some rigid, cookie-cutter formula. It's a creative process. It should spark dynamic conversations and even leave room for those amazing, unexpected aha moments.
So there you have it. By starting with the basic anatomy of knowledge, the facts, concepts, and generalizations, and then following a clear design process, you really can turn any mountain of information into a clear, compelling, and powerful path to real understanding.
And for anyone who wants to dive even deeper into this blueprint, the key sources we drew from for this explainer are all listed right here. Thanks so much for watching.